beat to me, click. Boy Wonder, and I am here to review. It's not even a review. It's my first impressions of the Division beta, and I quite enjoyed myself. The beta is really good. There were issues with the hacking and stuff, but I wasn't playing when all that was going on. I played a whole lot like day one and day two, and then after that it was like straight hacking, and I was done after that. Because it was Iron Banner or whatever on Destiny as well, so I had to balance both games, and it was also Trials. But either way, let's get into my first impressions. First, let's just break the game up and then explain what it is. And most people are already gonna ask, "Oh well, excuse me, is it better than Destiny? Is it gonna kill Destiny?" And my answer is no. No. They're two different games. They both share ideas from the MMO aspects that they both have, but this is a RPG game with third-person shooter elements wrapped up in it. Destiny is a shooter with RPG elements wrapped up in it, so that sounds like it's not that big of a deal, or that's not that difference, but it is. Like, when a game is first something and second something else, that means all of the mechanics are built into that one thing. So they really, the shooting is cool, it works, it's more tactical, it's slowed, it's like slowed down for the purpose of accenting the RPG-ness that it is. Like, it's an RPG game. There's a crafting system, there's a ability system, there's crafting, ability, perks, and then there's talents. So there's like 3 different things that builds into your character on top of the weapon customization. That's an RPG. So I think people who play Destiny are going to play it and be intrigued, but I don't think it can. I don't think that they're necessarily competing with each other. I think they're completely 2 different games. That's just me dissecting those and telling you about those. Now let's just talk about the Division for a few minutes. The Division, right off the bat, it's big on the story elements, and let's just go right into the pros. There were no loading screens. It was quite amazing. Everywhere you went felt so seamless. It blew my mind away. I've never played a game that had no loading screens. I thought that was a huge, when they said that, I'm like, no, impossible. Everywhere you went was so seamless. Everywhere you went, it felt like you could touch it. And then the area and just New York looked like New York. The map system, you saw all the streets. It was pretty cool. Fast traveling looked amazing too. There was like a load for it, but it wasn't even a loaded screen. You would load, and then it made it seem as though you walked to where you went. So it looked very unique when you did fast travel. The shooting mechanics were solid. It was a solid third-person shooter. I would compare how it plays close to Tom Clancy's like Advanced Warfighter, something like along those lines. That's how it felt. That's how it played. The rolling mechanic felt like Gears of War, but if I would have said it was closer to Advanced Warfighter, like that's how it played. It's slow and tactical. It's not as slow and I can't talk. My goodness, I can't talk. It's slow and tactical. It's not fast, so it creates this difficulty where you have to kind of pre-plan and know what you're gonna do before you do it. You can't just go anywhere you want, and it's not really all that fast. You actually have to think about what you're gonna do before you do it. I got through everything pretty simple by myself. I didn't have a friend to play with. I even did the Dark Zone pretty simply by myself, but this is one of the games where you do want to have people with you because it is hard. The enemies will kill you very easily. AI was not dumb. They were pretty smart. The AI was pretty good. I would say that at times when it was aggroing them, it was weird because you had to put a lot of bullets in them, but that's a game mechanic that kind of has to be there because of what the game is. So that's more of a grunt and an annoyance, not much of a, oh man, I hate this, or it breaks the game. It just feels weird and it looks weird because I can't suspend my disbelief because I'm shooting a guy with a hoodie and a hat on like 100 times. But other than that, I think that's fine. But the AI, they were really aggressive. They would push up on you. They would try to surround you. They would throw grenades. They were not dumb at all, or at least the group of that I played, the group of AI that I played. They were pretty smart. They were pretty smart, and they were pretty good at, like, you see how he moved to the side. Like, they will push up on you, and they will look for a flank, and they will look to surround you. They will get up close to you. They will try to get in your grill to kill you. You can blind fire. Um, the Another gripe that I would have is I didn't like the fact, and it's not necessarily a gripe. It's just an inconvenience to me. The ability to change your controls, like the way you shoot, like your actual controls. There were only four different options. There was like default, southpaw, veteran southpaw, and like something else. And I couldn't even switch the triggers. Like, I don't like shooting on the back triggers, like R2 and L2. That's if you're playing on PlayStation. I don't like shooting on the back triggers. I like shooting on the front ones. I like L1 and R1. That's how I like to shoot. I like to aim and shoot with those buttons. I couldn't do that. It's a beta, so that may be in the real game. I don't know. It's too early to say. Far as the Dark Zone, just getting into the Dark Zone was done excellently. Only thing I don't want to feel like, I just don't want it to feel, I just don't want the game to turn to Dark Zone, because there wasn't a whole lot of content in the beta, so it's too early to really say if it will have a drought or whatever. But it felt a little boring. But again, it's a beta, and it's pretty much a demo, and they're not going to give us pretty much anything that's worth anything. I would love to see how raids go in the game. I think that would be very interesting. So my first impressions is that I think it's going to be a solid RPG game. I think it's going to be really good. My only concerns are content, not just fetch quest content, not just like I. Are they going to vary? Also, enemies. Biggest issue is everybody going to be a bullet sponge? Because that's how everything feels. It's a beta. I know it's a beta. But every enemy that I played against in this beta, even the harder ones, even the one with a automatic machine gun, it was bullet sponging. It was just straight bullet sponging. I hope other enemy types got some other mechanic other than bullet sponge. Like, I know it's supposed to be realistic, but it just is hard to kind of put that into your mind when this guy's eating so many bullets, and then there's nothing else about him that I can do to him, and he just has to just eat a lot of bullets. He has this tanky wear on. Like, does he have weak points? Like, things like that are the things that I am concerned about. I think that's a little weird. Is it game breaking? Is it going to destroy? No, but I don't know. Like, bullet sponging will kind of get old. Even especially when you're just looking for DPS loot or whatever. So these are my first impressions of the game. So you can tell me what you guys thought. I think it's a good game. I think it's going to be a solid game. I think it borderline could be amazing. I just think it's too early to tell. I have the game pre-ordered. I will play the Division. I think it's going to be fun. I love the RPG aspect of it. That's what's going to pull me in. Because I may even play the game more of a single player than I would be playing it as a multiplayer. But those are my concerns. But also, those are my pros and my hopes. My hopes is that it turns out to be the RPG slash MMO-ish console game that I think we all were hoping for, or all are hoping for. Alright, well, that is the end of my little spiel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment. What do you think? What do you think the Division is going to be? What are your hopes? What are your gripes? What are your concerns based off the beta if you got a chance to play it? Alright, that's it. I will holler at you guys later. Deuces.